Welcome to For the Record, a podcast where we stand on business. I'm Duane.
I'm Hope.
And today we got a hot topic for you. What are we talking about today? Taraji P Henson fired her entire team.
Oh,
can you believe
it? It was exciting to hear that.
Yeah. I mean, she's standing on business too.
Yes, because sometimes you have to do that. And if you all wait to the end, you'll understand why we chose this topic, because we had to do the same thing. So let's dive right into it.
Okay.
How many people have seen this article that we have on the screen? All right.
If you've seen it, just comment below. You know, you saw the article.
You saw the article. But if you haven't, while we're talking, read it really quick.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Very interesting.
So after the success of Empire, Taraji P Henson felt that it should have went further than where her career should have propelled after that.
And it should have.
And it should have.
After such a series as Empire, it was great.
Yeah, it was great.
Her character was, well, what's the word I want to use? Bedazzling almost.
Yeah. She stepped into that role. It was believable. I believe it was 5 or 6 seasons. But after the show ended, she said she had no commercials. She had no endorsements.
Nothing.
She had no type of deals at all to step into. All the team focused on was, I guess,
Empire.
Empire, and a spinoff, I believe, a show for Cookie.
Was the best acting business decision that you made? So whether that be representation,
firing everybody after Cookie. Everybody had to fucking go.
But because they didn't come to her with the best deal, the best production for that spinoff show, she said no. Yeah. And that's good, because you can't just accept anything anyone brings to you, even if it is Hollywood.
Exactly.
And that's what we learned from Taraji's article. There were some other points that she said. She said she was frustrated over her career being stagnant.
Right.
Is what you just said. She didn't have no endorsement deals, no commercials, not even a fashion line.
Yeah. Where is my deal? Where is my commercial? Cookie was top of the fashion game. Where is my endorsement? What did you have set up for after this? That's why y'all haven't seen me in so long. They had nothing set up.
Do we all remember the various styles of Cookie lions? I mean, I didn't even have the nerve to wear some of the things she did, but they were beautiful.
Right.
They were statement pieces. It was couture. It was so much that she brought to that character. I fully understand now why she said goodbye.
Exactly. And this was not her first show. I mean, she's been in like some powerhouse movies like Benjamin Buttons.
Oh,
I mean, she was in that. Plus,
didn't she get the Emmy nomination for?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, she did.
So,
she did.
Hidden Figures.
Oh,
I mean,
powerful movie.
She's phenomenal. And
but her first one, let's not forget her very first one, Baby Boy.
Oh yeah, Baby Boy.
That's when she brought to us the real Taraji P. That's how we knew who she was going to be.
That's one of my favorite movies.
One of my favorite movies.
And one day we'll probably get into the baby boy syndrome. But back to Taraji. I mean, for her to fire her team for lack of focus, stagnation of her career, and that was their job to excel her. While she showed up to work, they were working behind the scenes to make sure that brand, Taraji P Henson brand, did better than what she's doing. I mean, she's not doing bad now, but what I'm saying, I guess she expected more from her team, which you should.
Elevated, yes.
As a brand, as a business, that's what you are supposed to do. If you have anyone around you worth their salt.
And so when they didn't get it right, I was like, well, that's it. And then they had nothing else. You're all fucking fired.
And what's the point of having a team if your team isn't doing what they're supposed to do to get you to the next level? Now, some people work with a very small team. Some people have a large team. It doesn't matter how big or how small your team is. They need to be engaged in the brand. They need to understand the brand. They need to understand the mission of the brand. They need to understand how to propel your brand.
Yes,
and she told us in her article, no commercials, no endorsement deals, not even a fashion line. Wow. So all those people on her team, none of them knew how to drive those points. You didn't know how to reach out for commercials. Nope. Didn't know how to reach out for fashion. I mean, there's so much that could have been done for Taraji that wasn't done for her team.
Right.
So she let him go. I got another point.
Okay. All right, folks, we're in the studio right now trying to get some things done here today. But I wanted to come to talk to some of the business owners. We have some specials right now. If you go to our website, we're able to help you right now advertise your business, your product. Our subscriber count is going up every day. I'm telling you, get in right now. Yesterday's prices are not today's prices. Go to thebossmove.com right now. Back to the show.
She said the realization of her self-value. This is very important. She actually compared it to Stockholm Syndrome, which means she was being abused, not sexually or anything, physically, but financially abused
I can see
in
that.
the industry, and she kept taking it all these years because
without saying anything, and just going back to her abuser. Just, you know what I mean? That in essence, you know,
time after time.
Yeah.
But she also said she had to learn what her worth is, and she's a dynamic actress.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk to you all later about the Benjamin Buttons ordeal with the lack of pay. So today we're talking about the team aspect, but we're going to go later and we're going to talk about the lack of pay in the business world, entrepreneurs and otherwise.
Yeah, that'll probably be another episode.
Yeah, that's going to be another episode.
So, but as far as Taraji is concerned, I'm with her 100%. Sometimes you hire your friend, your family member, or, you know, it may have even been a person that she interviewed, you know, from an outsider.
Right.
But like 8 to 9 times out of 10, we trust those friends that we've known so long. We trust the family member.
We trust the family.
You know, because they say, hey, I can do this job.
And a lot of them come and say, I want to be a part of what you're doing.
Yeah, excited about, you know, or just from afar, don't know how much work goes into it.
And it's a lot. It's a lot to run a business. That's why the For the Record podcast is standing on business, bringing you facts, not just our opinions. We're going to share our experiences because we have over 25 years separately, not combined, over 25 years individually in the business world, administration, finance, construction, conceptualization, production, execution. We've been doing this for years.
Yeah, so I can really see the frustration because when you are working, you know, she's the talent. You know, she showed up. She was at her rehearsal. She was studying her lines, whatever goes into acting, while she was thinking her team was setting up these interviews or these deals,
endorsements,
you know, and a lot of times the entrepreneur, the business owner has so much on their plate, and they may have a team, but you can't really micromanage a person. You really shouldn't have to.
You shouldn't, especially if you're paying them.
Especially if you're paying them.
And then I'm sure everyone was listening to a lot of her interviews. She said that they get paid off the top.
Right.
So it's not like she's coming back later and saying, let's make a deal. That contract is done before they get started.
She even gave some percentages in the Variety article. She said Uncle Sam get 50%
off the top.
Right off the top. And her team 30%.
Right off the top.
Right off the top.
That's 80%.
So which leaves her with only 20%, you know, which that's not fair.
And it's not much.
It's not much.
When you look at the numbers, it's not much, and it's not fair.
Yeah, if you do the math on, let's say 5 million, you know, that's not a lot. That's, you know, and I doubt she probably get paid 5 million per film.
Right.
I might be wrong. You know, but
we'll do some research. But the point we're making is a lot of people on her team got paid for doing minimal.
Yeah.
They did the basic. And it's true. It's a lot running a business. Here at the Boss Move Studios, doing editing, producing, videography.
Camera, lights. I mean, even get ready this morning for this. Even though the studio is pretty much set up. But it's some things you got to put in place. And even here, you know, I have to be able to trust somebody that know how to turn on the camera,
use this equipment.
Yeah, the soundboard, the lights, and whatnot. And when you hire somebody and you are, you know, the boss or the talent or whatever, you expect to just come, sit down, and do your job, and not having to do everything. But this is an object lesson for me and you, I'm sure,
Yes.
that you have to do it yourself.
You
I mean,
sometimes,
even though we knew this beforehand, you gonna have to do it yourself sometimes to get it right. I mean, I'm not saying that's ideal.
It's not ideal because nobody really wants to have a business by themselves.
No.
All right. Let me not say nobody. There's some people who are like that, but most of us, we start business so that we can grow and help others to grow.
Yeah.
And when you have a business, and there's 2 points I want to bring. Whether somebody comes and say, "Hey, I want to help," or you ask, it doesn't change. They need to understand and know what they're doing. They need to be able to execute the instructions you gave.
Right.
Also, when you talk about production equipment, cameras and lighting,
It's
these
expensive.
things are not. Yes.
Yeah.
And to have someone
I'm
that
telling
comes
you.
in with a nonchalant attitude,
Yeah.
almost knocking over cameras like it's no big deal, it's very frustrating. And like Taraji P Henson, we had to fire our team as well. And because of that, it's just the two of us. It's just the two of us right now.
Anyway, it's not,
Right now.
again, it may not be ideal because behind the scenes, it is a lot of work.
It's a lot.
I mean, from marketing to
Creating
creating
content.
content, editing. I mean, just making sure you're
Customer
up to date.
relations.
Yeah, and these are the things we had an assignment. We were on assignment on this job. This is where we were full-time content creators, just as we are now.
Yes.
As a team leader, I expected my entire team to know exactly what I knew. Not saying I knew everything, but at least if we're dealing with a production that day,
Right.
I should not be the only one that
Setting
know
up
how to set up a
cameras.
camera or lights or know how to edit.
Or tape wire down.
Tape wire down. So I instilled that in our team members.
That's
and
right.
if you were not able to catch up, you had to go.
You had to go.
You had to go because this work is too hard sometimes.
Yeah, and it takes focus.
A lot of focus.
Production is not an easy thing. It's very exciting.
Yeah, it is.
We love production. We love putting on shows and programs, right? We love it. But if you don't have the right team behind you, it can be very draining.
It
can
can.
be very draining. But what we're saying is without the right team, you will overwork. What is that saying you always told me and all the team? You used to say
I used to tell them to tighten up.
tighten up.
Tighten up. I'm
but
telling
also
you.
work makes lighter hands. Or?
Yeah. Hold on, let me see what it says. Yeah, I mean, y'all know the saying. Many hands make the work light.
There you go.
You know?
Many hands make the work light.
Yeah.
And when we were managing a team of 15, and sometimes it was 20, the work became light once everybody was trained
same page,
and executing their training.
Yeah. Now I can say that once they were trained, we really didn't have to worry about certain things.
Yes.
Of course you check, you
You
have
have
these
to.
checks and balances in place.
Right.
But once it was set up, it kind of ran smoothly because everyone knew what they do. And I would say they knew the consequences as well if they didn't do what they
Right.
did.
Which Taraji P Henson's team,
Hey.
I don't know if they knew it or not, but she showed them. And I
found
hope
out.
that they didn't take leave with a bad taste in their mouth. Rather, I hope some people asked questions.
Accountability.
Yeah, took accountability.
Yep.
I hope some people asked questions. What can I have done better? Because when you are running a business, you don't have time for little feelings and emotion. Oh, you hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
Over what?
Take the emotions
we're
out
trying
of
to
it.
eat.
Yeah, a
Like
lot of
everybody's
times.
trying to eat.
Yeah.
So before we tell you all what happened with us, we want to leave you with 10 points that we pulled, that we have implemented in our business. Much like Taraji, she fired him.
Yeah.
We had to fire, but we learned from it. My first one is recognizing the importance of proactive management. Just as we said,
Yeah.
once you train them,
Yep.
once the leader tells you what to do, shows you what to do, you've done your part.
You've done your part, and then let the chips fall where they may. Number 2, we just spoke about just before that, demand results and accountability.
Yep.
You have to. And sometimes I would say not stuck to this like I should have.
Right.
Especially when you hire a friend.
A friend.
Because you feel like that friend, gonna do what they say they would do. But you got to demand, because that does not mean that you brought this person on, that they're doing it with your best interest, or they're going to deliver. So that's when you give them small tasks to just see if they would deliver that.
Yeah, how are they going to handle it?
You know, hey, set up this camera, they set up these lights.
And do I have to run behind you when I give you an assignment to see if it's done? Do you come back to your boss and say, hey, here's what you asked me to do. I'm finished. What is next?
What's next?
Be willing to make tough decisions. That's what's next.
She made a tough decision. I don't know if it was tough for her or not, but she got rid of him. But yeah, be willing to make tough decisions.
Yeah, and it's not about being mean, but you have to stand back when you are doing business. You have to understand that people will take advantage of you if you are not willing to make the tough decisions.
Yep.
Because just like Taraji is a brand, an editor is a brand.
Yeah.
They know their style, and a producer is a brand. So be careful. Understand the value of your work, what you put into it before you give out.
And in this particular business, it's a lot of work going into the editing part of it. It's a lot of work going into all of it. But like you said, an edit could take from anywhere from
a few hours to a couple of days, depending on the size of the project.
And as an editor, you're never really done with the edit. You just abandon it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Until you say, okay,
you have to leave it at some point.
There's so much you could do.
Yes. Adapt and open to change. This was one that I think got us in trouble because when we allow that individual to come work with us, we didn't understand that they didn't understand what we really did. Yeah. And we adapted to them. We were open and we let that person come in to bring their skill set, and it didn't help. It actually made matters worse.
Yeah, it didn't translate as we thought it would.
So when you're looking at adaptability and change, make sure you study it all the way out to the end. Do I really need to open up to this particular person or thing? Should I really change this in my business? Because you want a niche.
Oh, most definitely.
And you don't want to keep changing, but be careful about adapting and being open to all types of changes.
Yeah. And number 7, financial literacy and realism. I mean, you have to understand, of course, basic stuff, what things cost. If you have a studio like we do, operating expense. If you're trying to bring somebody on, can I afford to pay them? The realism behind it is, no, I can't. I got to do it myself.
Exactly. Because when you're first starting out, unless you're rich, it takes money to make money.
Yes.
So you have to make some money so you can make some more money, and therefore it's challenging as an entrepreneur when you're starting out. But stay true to the course, because the reward is coming. Yeah. Right, but you have to be steady and consistent. Yeah,
and just because you got a business does not mean you have money.
Say that one more time for the people. Say that one more time.
Just because you have a business, I'm gonna look at the camera, does not mean you have money.
It doesn't.
It's the opposite of that.
It's the opposite.
Believe that.
Again, unless you're already rich, most of entrepreneurs are not. When we go into business, we don't really have money.
No.
Number 8 is building a reliable and efficient team.
This is what it's all about. Yes. If you're going to have a team, it has to be reliable. I mean, with this production company, we may get a guess that the schedule does not match our schedule.
Correct. So
let's say we have to shoot on a Sunday at 10 o'clock at night. Will your team be available? Will they be willing to do so? And that applies to any business that you have. I don't care if it's a fire sprinkler company, a real estate brokerage firm, or whatever.
Whatever you're doing.
A law office.
It could be a law office. It doesn't matter. Yeah. You want to make sure that your team is reliable. And a lot of times you don't know that until you're put in that situation. So again, we learned that the hard way. Yep. 9, self-empowerment and leadership is very important. We have to show. Our team or your employees, whatever you call them. I like to say team. You want to show your team how to work. You want to show your team the vision of the company. And you want to help them succeed. So don't get it wrong. Don't have people come in, work for you, or be a part of your team and you're beating them down. You didn't do this right. That's terrible. No. Train, teach, emulate.
That's it. And you don't have to be the smartest person in the room. No. And that's why you have a team. You should have people smarter than you. Your whole team probably should be smarter than you. That way you can advance. They know how to go get those brand deals, in Taraji's case.
Exactly.
In our case, they may know how to go out and sell, ads for this podcast, which we are taking, advertisers right
Yes.
now. If you want to advertise on this podcast, go to thebossmove.com. But yeah.
And last but certainly not least, learn from your disappointments. As entrepreneurs, we get a lot of them. You all know that.
Yeah.
We certainly know that. Learn from them. Don't sit and wallow and be sad. Oh, look what this person did, or look what happened. Learn from that. Find the silver lining. Find the blessing. Find the next opportunity in every disappointment.
And believe me, it may not be clear, but there is some type of lesson to be learned. And what lesson did we learn? Let's get into why we kind of went over it, but just a little bit more about firing team.
Well, on a personal level, we had a couple of people come to us and say, I want to be a part of what you're doing. Even before you all open your studio, we were watching, we were following. I want to do that. And while these couple of people had experience, at least we thought, when we brought them on board, we didn't see the experience.
Right.
And what we found out later is that one of the individuals was more concerned about when I'm going to make some money.
Yeah.
When am I going to make some money?
We're in business to make money, but it takes time.
Yes.
Especially when you're starting a new adventure in your business.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this individual, out of the two, particularly wanted to see returns in 45 days.
Right.
In 45 days. And because of their mindset and not understanding business, we didn't even realize they weren't doing any of the assignments we had given.
Right.
That they actually asked for. Go back to these points that we had, that they actually asked for. Remember, they came and said, I want to do this. I want to be a part of production. I love editing. I know how to make music. Yeah. All these different things.
I know how to market and, sell.
I know how to sell. Right. And at the end of the day, we got pushed back to what, 2 months?
Yeah, at least that.
At least 2 months, and now we're still playing catch up. Now we need an editor.
but here's the silver lining that I had to find out. We both found out. Like sometimes you have to shed that weight. It's an extra weight, and when you shed that extra weight, you're able to move more efficiently, and that's what we did. And more opportunities have opened up since then. Opportunities have opened up. Of course, when things like that happen, it's like, wow, what's going on?
What's going on?
We just opened this studio, and this is what's going on.
And at first, we were very upset. Let's be honest. We were angry and we were hurt because these were friends. So learn that. That was a disappointment that we said we had to bounce back from. But what we also learned, as Duane said, is once you're okay with letting go of dead weight or letting go of disappointment, or letting go of stagnation. Thank you.
That's it. Stagnation.
Yeah. More doors open up. So since then, we had opportunity to meet with a lot of new entrepreneurs. Yep. You'll see them from time to time on the show. We have an opportunity to actually have a different podcast that's going to be geared toward women only. And
can't wait for that.
Can't wait for it. And none of this happened until we let the dead weight go. And decided that we're going to have to do this on our own until we don't.
Yeah. And then on our own is with God's help, which is what we...
Paramount.
Yeah, that's paramount. That's what we rely on daily anyway.
That's right.
So, this article really hit home because it was personal. It was a personal thing.
It was
a personal thing. So, I implore anyone that watched this video, if you got a business, or even if it's just reevaluating your life, because that's what she did. She kind of did a reevaluation, her career, and which is her life.
Right.
You can do the same thing. Whether if you're not in business, it could be your personal life, your family, friends. Reevaluate those things that may be holding you back or have held you back for so long.
And you didn't even know. So, comment below. If you have a story you would like to share about having to fire or let someone go, friend, family, or even a foe, put in the comments, reach out to us. We would love to have you on. And thank you for joining us on today on For the Record, where we stand on business.
And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for joining us. We'll talk at you next time.
For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. grow, then it's done for you. For the record, lab on me going all the way. For the record, ain't tryna link, no time to waste. For the record, for the record, yeah. For the record, yeah. For the record, yeah. For the record, for the record, for the record. Been a little